Hey everyone, it's Daniel, the Norwegian guy here, and as you probably can see, I've been gone for a while, but I'm back at it again. Excuse me there, I just need to have a little drink there. So I figured today I want to talk about a certain band by the name of, you may have heard of, a really famous British rock band by the name of Deep Purple, and I had the pleasure earlier this year to see Glenn Hughes on his 50th anniversary tour for this particular album I'm going to be talking about today, which of course is Burn. Sorry about the glare there. Uh, this album, of course, marks the first of only two records from the Mark III lineup of the band. Um, as just in case you're not aware of it, so obviously the most iconic version of Deep Purple is, of course, the Mark II lineup, which, of course, consists of Ian Gillan on vocals, Roger Glover on bass, alongside Richie Blackmore on guitar, John Lord on keyboard slash organ, and Mr. Ian Pace himself on drums. But towards the kind of sort of the initial run of the Mark II lineup of the band, which of course everybody knows the songs from, Smoke on the Water, Highway Star, Charlie Time, Speed King, and, so on and so forth. The band started to kind of fall apart around 73, especially with the tension brewing between Blackmore and Gillan at the time, and eventually Gillan decided to leave the band, and Roger Glover followed shortly thereafter. And Deep Purple was kind of sort of in this weird place at the time because they were one of the biggest bands at the time in the 70s. So do we call it a day, or do we try to kind of sort of move forward? And eventually the band decided, okay, we're gonna try and replace both a bass player and a singer. So they eventually recruited Mr. Glenn Hughes from Trapeze at the time and discovered this. And initially, I think they had their thoughts on getting Paul Rogers, who was fresh out of Free, just before they started to, of course, form Bad Company. So eventually, this initial incarnation of the band is, of course, David Coverdale, which we later know from Whitesnake fame, on vocals, Glenn Hughes on bass and co-lead vocals, alongside Blackmore on guitar, John Lord on keyboard, and Mr. Pace on drums. So, and just to note this record is probably, I would say, yeah, it's definitely probably my favorite Deep Purple record. There, I said it. I mean, I love in rock. I enjoy Machine Head. Of course, everybody knows Perfect Strangers. Those records I think are great. Perpendiculars, the list goes on and on. But there's nothing for me that tops this. And part of the reason why is because I find new that the band managed to expand their sound and explore different musical sensibilities with this incarnation of the band. Sure, it's a lot more bluesy, a lot more soul and funk influences coming into the band, but that's kind of what I dig about it. And when you have this kind of blues rock singer in Coverdale and the more melodic, more soulful sound of Glenn Hughes kind of working in tandem with each other, it's such a one beautiful vocal harmony that just blends so beautifully, especially with the sound formed on this record. So first song on the album is of course the title track, Burn, which is, yeah, probably my favorite hard rock song of all time. It probably is. It has, in my opinion, probably the greatest guitar Richie Blackmore has ever written. I know Smoke on the Water is definitely a contender on that list. Man on the Silver Mountain, of course, in Rainbow, Stargazer. He has come up with so many riffs, but for me, the title track "Burn" is such a wonderful statement of intent for the band, and I think it's just wonderful with the riff, the vocals, the organ solo from John Lord is tremendous on this, and Ian Pace just tearing up on the drums. I think it's just an absolute beast of a song. Might Just Take It Live is of course the next track, and I really like this one. I really love the distorted kind of organ work that goes on it, and I mean it's just a wonderful bluesy hard rocker. And I was so lucky when I saw Glenn Hughes in July. That was the second track that he performed, and I was just already just fired up already from him opening off with Stormbringer, and I'll probably talk about Stormbringer in a later video. But I do really like My Just Take a Life. I think it's just an amazing song. Lay Down, Stay Down. Yeah. Lay down, stay down. I really like that one too. I think just pretty much the first side really shows. I mean, nothing really tops the title track, at least for the first side of it, but I really like this one. I really like Lay Down and Stay Down. Might Just Take a Life, of course, great. Lay Down, Stay Down, great. Sail Away. Yeah. It's, yeah, I mean, it's probably my second favorite track on the record aside from the title track. I just love the funky groove on it, from especially between the rhythm section between especially in the interplay between Glenn and Pace. So really love that song, and the vocal performances from Coverdale and Hughes on it I think is just tremendous. But then you flip the album over and you get, of course, I mean, I'm obviously holding up the CD, not the LP, but on the Sail Away ends the first side, and the second side opens up with You Fool No One, which is probably the heaviest tune on this record. Yeah, probably. I mean, the drumming on it, I think, is absolutely stupendous. I really got really not much to say about it other than that. I think it's just a really great song. What's going on here is, of course, the next track, and it's fine. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call it fillerish, but it's definitely probably there's another track that is coming up next, but I think that is probably like the weakest track on the record. I mean, not bad. It's a nice bluesy rocker, but it's not really my cup of tea, I guess. That's probably then just me. Uh, then of course there's Mistreated. One of the probably greatest blues rock songs I think I've ever heard, and both Coverdale's version on the album is amazing. But I especially prefer his vocal performance either on California Jam, which of course is were in '74, or probably the one on the Whitesnake live album, Live in the Heart of the City. That is probably my second favorite. And of course, Blackmore would perform this song also with Rainbow. So if you go and listen to Rainbow live on stage, you get an amazing, more operatic performance by Ronnie James Dio. So, but yeah, I think absolutely Mistreated is just, it's intense. It's just an amazing blues rock song. And then of course the album ends with A200, which is a nice instrumental ditty, but I would probably have preferred if they could have come up with an extra song or something. I mean, if you get the 30th anniversary edition of this, you also get kind of the bonus side, which of course has Corona Rare's Rejig, and of course you get some remixes of Burn, Mistreated, You Fool No One, and Sail Away. Good remixes. I personally prefer the original version of this, and of course the album is of course produced by Martin Birch. So you can, I mean, is there anything else to say about that? When you get a record that is produced by Martin Birch, I think you got a good thing going with this. So by all accounts, I love this record. It is one, and especially since we kind of in 2023 we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the formation of the Mark III lineup. So if you get a chance to pick this up, just go to a streaming service, go on YouTube, whatever, because you're not really gonna hear these songs performed live by Deep Purple, at least in this current incarnation. So you either better go listen to the record, or you should just go out and get your ticket to go see Glenn Hughes performing this on his solo tour, because When I saw him, he performed Burn Might Just Take Your Life, Sail Away, You Fool No One, and Mistreated. So for me, you get your money's worth if you get a chance to go see Glenn on the tour. So with that said, yeah, I'm just gonna give this one a 4.5 out of 5. I think it's the only thing that really holds it back is 8 to 100. Should have just made Mistreated just more of an extensive jam, I think. With that said, I am just gonna check out. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and do all of that stuff. And make sure that you share this video with more people, because you know what? The more, the merrier.